Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. I'm TJ, joined by Chalky, and we are one match away from finding the eighth and final person that will be joining us for the final feature tournament happening this weekend. It's a battle between the Rat and Weasel.
Yep.
Chalky, what do you think?
Well,
What's on your mind right now? Just spit it out. Tell me.
I was thinking I was going to go look at who the 7 other players are. But,
Chalky, Dart,
Strife Crow,
Privet.
Privet. We've got, from EU points, it's Impact. So that's 5. And then we have 2 more. Who qualified the other day? We casted
Oh, it's
it.
number 2. Yeah.
Who won? I don't know. We casted it. We should know this stuff.
Ah, my brain is turned to mush.
It was, Silent Storm
Sounds
and Roger. Yeah.
Roger.
So
That's a sick feature tournament.
I'm going to write all that down because I probably need to care about that later, but also for the sake of saying it. But one of these two, Weasel or the Rat, will be joining them.
This is such an interesting matchup as far as their names go.
Is that so?
Yeah, because both rats and weasels are sort of looked down negatively upon humans as well as other animals.
I think the Rat, when I met him in real life, he said he has the title of Hearthstone's worst username. It's the Rat with a 3 in it. I mean, can you get much worse than that?
I believe in the same breath, he also said he was the best patron player in the world.
Okay, bro. Nice.
But he has since switched to the Control Warrior train, which has actually done him some good here.
Yeah,
he made it this far in the tournament.
Yep. So, doing fine with that.
This is a pretty good curve, too. I would have liked to have like a second shielded mini-bot right there. Would have been ideal, but, I mean, contesting the board, going into turn 3 with a muster for battle.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
In-game
boss is...
Oh, we got the Owl for the Void Caller, so pretty big deal. Even has a big game hunter going later into the game. Paladin generally does fairly well against Zoo. You have a lot of stuff to stop them in the early game, and a lot of stuff to sustain yourself in the late game. Just gonna smork him for now, though.
I like
Why
the
not?
plan. Yes.
Why not?
Seems like we've seen a lot of Imp Boss into Void Caller.
We have. It's been a pretty common draw for these Zoo players in the latter half of the day.
Yeah. Well, this is a tough turn because if he plays Paladin Shredder, just gets traded in with the Void Caller, out pops the Doom Guard, and out goes the Rat's chances at winning the game. There is opportunity still. He could draw into like Equality or something, but it's going to be really tough from that point. He can Owl, but then he's not really doing much else. He can set up for like a sweet Consecration, which could work out nicely that next turn. He does have both Owls. He could just double Owl.
Yeah, but you could.
But the M-Gang boss doesn't really represent that much of a threat to be silenced.
There's usually a better silence target. Ah, he's going to be greedy.
Ooh.
Wow.
Nice Piloted Shredder placement, though.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd say this is going to get pretty punished. He's going to get the Doomguard out of it. Almost, I mean, just no matter what. As long as he trades it into the Shredder. The Rat provided the perfect trade target. It's going to tap first.
Trade in first. Oh, man.
Yeah, I probably would have traded in first. I guess there's no 4-mana demons besides the second Void Caller. If you get Mal'Ganis, you're not unhappy, but I feel like Doomguard's even better because it can't be BGH. There's no instant answer.
Yeah.
I suppose I would think Weasel's like afraid of equality the way that the rat played. But of course, he doesn't know the rat had the option to silence and chose not to.
Hmm.
So here comes Doomguard. It's an
Armor
Armor
Smith.
Smith. That's really not that great. I mean, he gets 1 armor off of it, but other than that, it's basically a 1-1. It did save him 5 health, so
Yeah, this is a
6
really
health.
scary board.
He's got the Consecration,
That
but
is
he's
true.
not developing much more than that.
Well, he's not developing anything other than that. If he consecrations, he just has to smack his face into the 1/1 that's left over, and I mean, he's got 2/2s left. I guess it lines up with, well, not really. He could Blessing Kings the following turn, but that just feels so weak. I don't know if he really has a choice but to consecrate here. It's like the cleanest way he's ever going to deal with this board.
Yeah. Especially before like an egg comes out. Of course, he does have the owl for that. Alternatively, just in case he doesn't go for that, let's check out the merit of some other plays. He could Kings and trade into like the Direwolf, and then weapon off the 1/1. He leaves behind a 1/1. He leaves behind a 5/3, which can't be answered by the Imp Gang boss and kind of threatens that Doomguard. I
Yeah,
think
I actually
that's
like
what
that
he's
play
going
better.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you save the Consecration, which is a very versatile card later. Get the King's value while you know you have it. And that's exactly what he's going to go for, so... Yep, puts out a pretty menacing board. There's an egg.
Oh, there's the egg, though.
Well, the egg doesn't do much because he has the owls.
Yeah.
Sylvanas, I think, is more likely to come out, probably.
Hmm.
The winner of this match gets a date with Roger in Group B of the feature tournament. That would be their first matchup.
Okay. Roger, of course, the winner of EU earlier in the week.
Yep.
EU number 7, I believe. So,
Lots of trading. I guess he wants to protect that Sylvanas.
double owl, double defender.
Yep. Very board focused. This is almost like a more aggressive version of the mid-range paladin, which might just be how you have to build it nowadays. Kind of having to go for a lot of board control, a lot of early pushes. That way you have a chance against decks like Patron Warrior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that's just about the best he could hope to deal with that. Dr. Boom is almost for sure going to come out here. And yep. Weasel's going to play that instantly. He has the BGH to line up with it.
But it's still got the eye roll out from the rat. But he gets the Defender Vargas value, so I don't think he can be too upset. The fact that Weasel finally went face and will get a little punished for it.
Yeah, Rat has his own Dr. Boom to follow it up as well.
Yep. We are having a slight issue where casters can't see what's going on. You guys viewing, though, still can, so we just won't really be able to commentate for a minute or so. Should get it back soon. There it is.
Yep.
So it looks like the implosion came down, and that's a lot of damage, TJ. That's lethal. That's exact lethal. I want to see the eye roll on this from the rat.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be a big one.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be a real big one. When he sees that's going face and not in the Doctor Boom.
The Bane of Doom for the kill.
What demon will he get?
Oh, that's the biggest eye roll I've ever seen. Oh, Blood Imp.
Oh, never lucky.
Never lucky.
Well, if there's ever a time to get Blood Imp, that's it. He's getting his bad RNG out of the way.
All right. Well, Weasel is going to take game number 1, 2 games away from securing that spot. And the Rat on the ropes a little bit. Not managing to find a win with the mid-range Paladin in a matchup where he was probably going in pretty confident. That's a tough. I mean, you look at the sequence of events through that game, like the curve out and into the ridiculous points of burst.
Yeah, it's a really bad one for the Rat to lose to. Like you said, that was probably the best matchup his Paladin's going to get. The other matchups being Patron and Hunter. Hunter, pretty fine for Paladin, but Patron really not what you want to see as a Paladin player.
All right, we're going to go into Control Warrior versus Patron. Weasel does run, I believe, 1 Shield Slam. At least we've only seen one, and we've been through a very large portion of his deck.
Yeah.
So we can assume that he runs 1.
Yep. Tech choice I've seen from quite a few people. Helps out in some more control matchups like this one, where your opponent doesn't really expect that armor you've built up to be relevant, and suddenly it is. But do not be confused. It is indeed a Patron Warrior from Weasel. Now, the Rat has the Brawl, so we won't see a very abrupt ending, I don't think, to this game. No Patron rushdown shenanigans. And, I mean, I feel like when there's a Brawl in the hand, the Control Warrior is probably a little favored. Especially with really aggressive cards, like he's got the Alexstrasza and the Ysera. Shield Slam is going to help out a lot against cards like that. But generally, when the Control Warrior puts on too much aggression, the Patron Warrior doesn't have much answers to that.
Yeah, he doesn't have weapons, which is a pretty big deal. Not really going to be able to fight too much for the board early on. But, I mean, usually the Patrons don't develop too like a big threat for a long time. Being able to deal with like an Acolyte of Pain can be a big deal. To deny the draws, like having the Fiery War Axe to match up with that, or even the Despite to match up with that. But yeah, that Brawl definitely going to be the MVP.
Yep. Almost just a prevention tool. It's not even assured that Weasel would go for an early Patron all-in, but really just ensures that the Rat knows he's not going to lose to that kind of thing.
The Rat.
Yeah, look at his closet in the background there. See any shirts you like in there?
Just no door.
No door.
Just free ball in the closet.
He's a very open man about his dress shirts.
They're all the same, just different colors.
Picks up a Brawl, second Brawl. That will be probably unnecessary for a really long time, so not really a draw he wanted to see. But the fact that he plays 2 shows that he really wants to win this matchup. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of his deck goes towards that plan as well. And you see he's going to hero power over shield blocking here. So obviously wants to gain as much armor as possible. Wouldn't be surprised to see an execute on the Acolyte just to deny that draw. Of course, Patron Warrior does not have many huge targets to use execute on, so denying a draw with it, basically trading 1 card for 1 card, is pretty solid.
He also has second execute in his hand, as well as Control Warriors just having absurd amounts of removal anyway.
Yeah, so Weasel, it looks like a really nice Emperor turn, but against Control Warrior, it's one of those matchups where you need not a nice Emperor turn, you need almost near perfect Emperor cards, which involves Warsong, ideally Warsong, Frothing, Patron, and at least 1 Whirlwind.
Yeah.
So it's very specific, but generally you have a lot of time to draw into those cards. Which we see is at 45 health after he armors up, if he does. So, we'll be in pretty good shape to stall out this game for a while. Could see a coin Doctor Boom this turn, though, from the Rat, if that's something you wanted to do. feel like it's not a bad plan. Just get that aggression started early. Start clocking them. That in this matchup, the best defense is just offense to pressure the Patron Warrior into having to use combo pieces on your board.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play the slow game though.
Yep, both players racking up nearly the same amounts of armor. Just going to the late game, and the Patron Warrior, I believe maximum theoretical damage outputs go up to about 80. Sometimes through taunt. So, one of the keys to that is the Despite, though. So if the rat has weapon removal for both Despites, that could be pretty big.
The 80 does come with your opponent having to have lots of creatures on the board as well.
Not lots, but yeah, definitely a few.
Which Control Warriors are definitely not known for.
Well, if you go with if you reduce the Patron, double frothing, and the Whirlwind, and the War Song, that is 4 Patrons with an Inner Rage. So you get 14 from that, and then Whirlwinds on 7 targets, plus however many your opponent has, 2 or 3 times, which is at least 14 each time. So that's 42 if it's just your 7 targets. So that's about a total of 58 damage from purely your board with 5 cards and the Despite.
So to get 80, your opponent would have to have...
They'd have to have not that many, just like...
5 targets.
No, because if you're doing 3 Whirlwinds, where you gain 4 each time... You do 3 Whirlwinds where you gain 4 each time, so 1 target represents 12 extra damage, as long as it lives through all the Whirlwinds.
So, at least 2.
At least
maybe,
2.
Maybe
so if you play
maybe 3
2
if
minions,
one dies.
So TJ, let's get this straight. You play 2 minions, you can expect to be domed for 80. And I feel like that's the way Weasel's playing this game, and unless the rat gets some pressure started...
Okay. So theoretical... Because 2 of the Patrons would be 2 health, so I'd only live to 2 Whirlwinds, so it wouldn't be 58.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah. Theoretical
Listen, I did some napkin math, man. If you want to get real theoretical, you could do even higher.
Yeah, imagine if they had 7 creatures.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That'd be like double the damage.
And you could also reduce other spells that you could just plop onto targets for like an extra 1 or 2 here and there.
Yep. Who knows, man? The possibilities are endless with Patron. Main point being, doing 46, which the rat is at, definitely possible. I would say you have to get up into the 60s to be completely safe.
Well, we talked about theoretical Patron math for like 5 minutes, and we're still at the exact same board state, except there's a Doctor Boom.
Hey, there's a little more armor for each player.
Yep.
We're going in the opposite way of the players dying. Yeah, I feel like this Shield Slam is going to help out Weasel a lot. That just having that extra piece of removal, because the rat's going to have like 3 threats, and normally you can't answer 3, you can only answer 2.
Alright, well he's just gonna...
It's going to take the life coach pose.
Keep... Is he... I don't know why he would develop a Despite.
He's opened himself up to being Joned!
Oh no! There is no Joan, though.
There is no Harrison Jones. But there is a Ysera.
Also a Slam, which is...
It's going to go with Alex first, so it gets the
rather have that executed.
It's basically a 15-8 charge here. That is one of the most pressuring cards against Patron Warrior. Suddenly Weasel is at a much lower health total than he was. But now he can Battle Rage if he had it.
Well, I imagine since the game plan so far has been to hold on to the Emperor until he finds all of his combo pieces that he's going to do the same here again. Oh, he's going in.
Yep.
It's time.
And there goes the second inner rage, I believe, if I counted correctly. And there's going to be a brawl from the rat, so this is probably what the rat wanted. One of them does die.
Is it even worth a brawl?
I don't know.
You can just clear with
Ooh.
Shield Slam, Slam, and Fire War
Well,
Axe.
you have two brawls, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You throw out a brawl, you axe off whatever's left. I don't know.
It's worth some thought.
We'll let him figure it out.
If today's matches, NA qualifier and EU qualifier number 8, had a name, it'd be, well, it's worth some thought.
Well, why don't we rope on it? Yeah. Man. You know, I'd like to see some Hearthstone pros make, like, real-life decisions for themselves, but they only have 70 seconds to do it. I gotta move! You think he's gonna save the 5 health?
Can't get roped on life.
Can't get roped on life. I mean, you can. Alright. And we're back to Weasel.
I mean, his hand all of a sudden becomes, like, not that great.
So bad, yeah.
He's just gonna fire War Axe and just start chipping.
Mm-hmm.
Which
It's a
is
fireball.
neat. Yeah, he does pick up Execute, which is going to be good for Ysera.
Yep.
In fact, the rat might even try to protect his Ysera at all costs by trying to force out an Execute on something else, maybe a Sylvanas. We'll have to see about that. We've seen Shield Slam, which is not a removal we usually see in Patron Warrior use. We've seen one Execute use on the Alex Straza the previous turn. What is there to... Oh... Okay, he went for
Well, that... Not the greatest Emperor, especially once the rat sees it's only on 4 cards. It's gonna get cleared off very easily. I would expect Shield Slam into Ysera, probably. But he could steal it by Sylvanas Shield Slamming.
Ooh.
Do you want to steal it? That's the question. Reduction in costs, not nearly as relevant for the Control Warrior. It will make it so he can Ysera and Armor Up in the same turn, but he had the coin for that anyway.
You can use Sarah Armor Up and Fiery War Axe in the same turn.
Whoa!
Or he could use Sarah, Acolyte of Pain, coin Fiery War Axe.
Wow. The possibilities are there. They're not endless.
Not even close to endless.
There's a few of them.
Well, it's worth some thought.
Why don't we rope on it, TJ?
Why don't we rope on it? I feel like at this point they're doing it on purpose.
Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking.
Banana.
Oh, God. You were, like, perfectly synced with mine.
Yes. It's still playing in the background. It's not giving me as much energy as I had hoped. Oh?
Oh! Oh!
Is it lethal?
Is it lethal? Is it lethal? There's the Execute! Ysera's gonna make it!
Ysera's just gonna plop down here. He's just gonna bop it.
He's just gonna bop it right on the table. Watch this. It's not even worth some thought. Right? Right? Don't rope this.
Oh, no.
God, it's a life coach pose! Okay. It only took like a second of deliberation.
Okay.
I thought we were in for an all-nighter there, TJ.
Show me some dream cards. Ysera Awakens.
That's a good one.
Damage.
Probably the best one.
Alright.
Now, I feel like the rat's going to rope on playing anything for the rest of the game. Maybe not. Maybe just armor hit him in the face. So
I mean,
one thing
eventually he'll get enough Ysera awakens.
one thing I've learned is as the controller in this matchup, you actually shouldn't rope. You should think on your opponent's turn and not give them any time to think or do math, because then they'll screw up their combo and you'll win. So you just want to end turn ASAP.
Dream, not really helpful. I feel like he just didn't reduce enough pieces.
Yeah, but I mean, what choice do you really have? He didn't pick up a big battle rage this game. He didn't even draw battle rage. That was the big problem.
Yeah.
He's just like locked out at this point. There's a shield block even. So here I would just shield block, armor up, face, maybe face again, and pass.
Ooh.
Now he's pretty well out of range.
Yeah. Remember old Drake?
Yeah, you probably don't want to play that, though. It just adds to your opponent's combo. He'll play Harrison Jones. He'll Joan him.
Yeah.
Somebody hit Legend.
Oh no, who was it?
Who knows?
See if we can get confirmation on the newest North American Legend player.
Welcome to the club. Enjoy your stay. Well, it's going to come to a turn, starting next turn, where the rat has to start playing cards or he'll overdraw. So, you know that's... He should rope on it, TJ.
He can throw away the coin. He can expend that.
Yep.
Ooh, Grom.
Well, he's getting close. Is he going to dream Harrison?
Doesn't really solve his issue.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to have to start overdrawing. He already got Grom. That's the most important card. I think it's okay.
Literally just armor up pass. Looks like it was LBYS.
Or Nostum.
Nostum was already Legend.
All right, so it was
sure.
LBYS probably.
Congrats. Saw him compete the other day.
I was coining out the armor. Got him.
And he's going to dream back the Harrison.
Good old Harry. Got him. Yeah, you're not death biting me this game, buddy. It's another Awakens.
Okay.
So that's 24, 29 with the Grom.
He's got him.
He's got him.
It's all over.
It's over. Finish him. Finish him. Look at the rat. Cracking his neck a little.
Easy peasy
You're
lemons.
dead to me, kid.
All right, well, looks like the
Just
rat
do it.
is going to tie up the series 1-1 after he does some quick napkin math.
Got him.
And he made it there.
We made it. I think that was about 20 minutes, I'd say.
Yep. And looks like we're
Goes
going
by
to...
much quicker as a player.
Yeah.
Casting, you just kind of like,
Well,
yeah.
it's rare that you, like, play for almost 8 hours.
Yeah, very rare.
Straight.
Usually, yep, definitely have breaks in between matches due to the ropers of the tournament.
Yep. And looks like we're going to jump right into game number 3 here. The Rat is going to throw out Oil Rogue. And Weasel...
It's going to throw back. Let's run it back. Patron Warrior.
This matchup here, there's a lot of people that will consider rogues to be favored, but there are
The
also a lot of
rat.
people who are on the fence of patron being favored.
Now the rat says patron's favored
Yes,
because
he does.
he's a patron player, but he's playing rogue this game.
So he's a rogue player, so rogue should be favored in that logic, because rogue players always think they're favored.
We have found a paradox. Well, it is definitely close. That's kind of one of the things that's definitely true. I believe mathematically, Monk has said that Rogue's like 57% since Blackrock Mountain. So, slightly favored, but I think it really depends on the two players and how experienced they are with both decks.
Yeah.
So the rat fearlessly attacks in. Doesn't care about your battle rage. Who needs it?
Sort of looks similar to a control warrior hand right now, except for the Gnomish Inventor because of the shield slam. And no plays.
Well,
But it's still worth some thought.
He's got prep oil. That's a play.
That's
a card.
That's a card. And he does have Violet Teacher into Prep Sprint. But the Violet Teacher definitely would not survive. Whatever's played next turn is just not going to survive.
Shield slam.
Yeah.
Could just prep out that sprint. Get a nice hand of cards going forward.
That's true. Then next turn he might be able to play like Violet Teacher.
You know, TJ, though, it's worth it. It's worth some thought.
Yep, let's rope on it. Assume the pose. I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna go in on this one.
Okay, same. Alright, so
We can prep sprint. Or we can Violet Teacher. Those are the only two options.
you could just oil.
Could oil. Could also play SI Agent, just naked.
Now you gotta wait. Maybe you'll draw the other prep. There it is.
We did draw the other prep.
So we could prep out Deadly Poison.
Gonna get in the attack here too.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's end turn.
Got it.
Got it. Got him. Why do you think he attacked? Just Harrison Jones? I think you're okay. Him just jonesing a 2-charge. You have so many weapon buffs. All right, let's assume the position again.
Okay. Can Azure Drake?
Yeah.
Don't really have any spells to prep out because we Azure Drake. We can't prep oil.
Yeah.
Can dagger up, but
Well, I think we committed.
Really wish we had an attack last turn.
I think we committed to not using any weapon buffs this turn with the whole attack.
Yeah, we can Violet Teacher prep oil, but that'd be bad. Be a bad play. I think I'm leaning towards Azure Drake. Oh, if we Azure Drake, we overdraw. We have to prep something.
Well, we're not prepping
Violet
a Deadly
Teacher
Poison. We are committed. Uh-oh.
He needs to pick up an Abyss. Blood Mage.
Are we... I think I value prep more than a random card in my deck, yeah.
Wow.
We simply pass.
Okay. Bop it.
Stop it.
Well, he can shield slam the Azure Drake. But I think we're going to go ahead and cycle first.
You know,
basically this matchup comes down to who draws into enough damage first.
Yeah, the rogue kind of has to be the aggressor.
I'm okay with getting rid of the Edwin. I like prep better than I like Edwin.
Yeah.
Prep allows you to do more overpowered things,
Yep.
and execute does not discriminate. A 4-4 Edwin is the same as a 16-16 Edwin.
Wow, that's deep.
Hmm. So
So
he still didn't. This one dagger charge is really just
it's eating at us.
it's it's pissing me off, man. And
Yeah.
now,
It,
now he has to just. Why did?
now he has to admit I made a mistake.
Yeah, he sacrificed a card to admit that he made a mistake.
A card and 2 damage. Oh well.
Oh
Not a
well,
big deal.
not at all.
No.
I mean, how often do you find yourself in a position as a rogue where you want more spells? Like he's got. Is this like all of his creatures? He's missing Pilot Shredder,
Yeah, he's
but
missing Lotheb,
mhm.
South Sea.
Yep.
But other than that, the whole gang's here.
So Weasel still hasn't picked up on a weapon yet. This is a little bit weird. I mean, these are just weird hands for these players.
Yeah, Weasel doesn't have much pressure going. It's definitely a matchup where he wants to build up a big OTK board, or hand rather. You don't really even need a board for that.
Yeah.
But going with frothings, of course, it's always worth roping for. So he will draw into that axe and get the removal onslaught started, but not without burning every last bit of that precious rope.
Oh, that's a
Yep.
spell.
You have to be a little cautious about flurrying. Like everything here for the rat is strange. Like, do you? How much can you respect 3 damage on board? You don't want to just throw it out there. But what do you develop? How do you develop it? It's worth thinking about.
I knew it was coming. It feels like if he had done less thinking early on, he'd have to do less thinking now. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like it feels
sure.
like that Violet teacher could have been on the board a long time ago. It feels like it could have been removed.
Well, let's see if he eats up all the rope or just some of it. Oh, he left a little bit.
I think that was
Okay.
like 2.5 seconds that he just
He saved
threw
those
away.
in his time bank for later.
Mhm.
TJ, you have no idea how much I want like chess clocks for Hearthstone.
I know you told me about this.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Told me
You
about
get
it over some Panda Express.
you get to think over the tough turns, and then on the non-tough turns, there's no point in roping.
Yeah.
You want to save your time.
Yep. Weasel, he's got a Death Bite now. Picked up from the
He's
Battle Rage last
he's
turn.
literally like a war song off now in a few turns.
Yeah.
He just needs to stall a little bit longer without wasting too much stuff. I mean,
Definitely.
execute doesn't do damage, so you're okay throwing that out.
Yeah, definitely respecting the old Violet teacher. I lost it halfway through there. Whew. We brought it back.
Did you find it?
I did. I caught it right before it slipped away.
Okay.
Whoosh.
All right. Good.
It was like the balloon that I got. I had to do parkour to jump up and save it before it slipped into the atmosphere.
Okay.
That sequence all happened in my brain.
Okay. Well, still no war song, but that's a that's a card.
This is a lot of damage from the rat, though. I mean, look at this: dagger,
Yeah,
deadly,
yeah.
prep, oil, blade flurry.
TJ, I'm gonna stop you right there. Is it 37 damage?
No. Okay, so if he plays Emperor and armors up,
I
okay,
have seen games though
it's at
before where
39 health with 7 on board.
I've seen games before where literally the patron warrior just doesn't draw a war song, and this is one of those games if he doesn't.
It's
I mean,
23 damage.
I like emperoring here. I guess he's just gonna go for the death spite. Set up the clear, be extra safe. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's if you count the tinkers as 9, the deadly is worth 4, and the flurry is worth an extra 1. Of course, it's worth much more than that, but thanks to the spell power, that's 16, 20 damage, right?
Hmm.
So
So he's getting reasonably close. He's about halfway.
reasonably, yeah, you could go for like Shredder Healbot. You could maybe sprint.
Yeah.
Monk is giving me a 10-minute late update to our patron versus oil rogue stat. He said it's probably too late. Little does he know we are still in the thick of it. Uh,
It is not too late at all, Monk,
the
my friend.
patron warrior has actually come all the way back to overtake this matchup, and they are 30 and 29, slightly over 50-50.
So patron warriors are starting to learn. They're adapting. Mistakes were
Oh,
made. He missed the
he
damage.
missed the damage.
One
Still,
damage.
still, no war song, no cycle. Can we get a card check on how many cards Weasel has? He's got both
Rat.
war songs hiding in there.
Yeah. The rat is right down to his notepad. Missed 1 damage. That's it. That's all he's writing.
Yep.
How many cards?
It's got a. We will find out pretty shortly. I believe we'll find out how many cards.
I think he's sitting
Lotheb.
enough, though.
Lotheb is a big one, though. I mean, generally Lotheb's that turn where you can get off the oil, you can get off all your things, you prevent the lethal. Oh baby, he's getting close. That's
He does have preps left, and it's going to be so hard
Oh,
to
he used
combo
both
these.
preps. Okay, yeah. So
It's
you're
gonna be
you're
hard.
gonna Lotheb, you're gonna sap, and I think you're gonna dagger up and maybe deadly. And next
I
turn
think
you
you need the deadly to...
well, next turn you can go Tinker Tinker Flurry, because you have to do that in the same turn. You have to flurry it away. Of course, you're afraid there are 8 cards left, so it's a 25% chance every turn for Weasel to close out the game. Of course, Lotheb should prevent that in the present time right now, but I don't even know if it would prevent that with double frothing Unstable Ghoul.
He's got to clock him.
It's got to clock him. So here comes Lotheb. I would assume there's going to be a sap. There's the sap. Surely it's got to be dagger up. It could be eviscerate, but okay, it's just a vissing face. And so I assume he did the math. He took all the time necessary. If he's one off, that's the most depressing thing ever. But here we go. It's not a war song. So Weasel has some issues here. It's going to be 9 damage for sure out of the rat.
Yep.
The deadly Tinkers gives you 12, and then you have a 6 damage dagger. And you're going to flurry the 6 damage dagger for another 6, so that's 12 plus 12, right? But you could get even more with the double Tinkers. So double Tinkers adds, what, 2 more to that?
He can't
So
double
you,
tinker
so you get
flurry.
26. Yeah, you can. Oh, no, you can't. You're right. So he has
He's
24.
dead. Next turn, too. Oh, no, there's still
No,
no
there's
war
no
song.
Warsong. It's 7 cards. 2 of them are Warsong commanders.
What are the odds?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know what the odds are. So he's gonna have to taunt up. At least he thinks. He doesn't want to die. And now we're gonna see how the rat plans to survive. I don't. He definitely can't have lethal here. Even with the backstab, doesn't really do anything since it doesn't break through. I think he might want a heal bot. I don't think it saves him, but I think he'll do it anyway, just in case. You never know how much combo your opponent has. They could have just a little bit, just enough, or they could have way overkill.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Rat set up lethal with that Abyss. I think the Deadly last turn, even with the taunt, maybe he still wouldn't have it, but when you're getting into crunch time, yeah, this is it. It's worth thinking about. No, but this time for real, it's really worth thinking about.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
So he's just gonna flurry and drop the heal bot. He's at 29. A Warsong should end this game unless something crazy happens.
What is it?
It's a Warsong!
That's it. Bottom 7 cards, both war songs.
Wait a second.
Is
Piloted
it?
Shredder. Piloted Shredder.
Oh no. I think if it gets a taunt,
Wait, he didn't go for the fraud. I guess he only has 1 whirlwind, so. But he at least realizes he has to go for it this turn. This is it. So you do something.
Yep.
He's gonna have 5 patrons. And that's worth 19? So he just needs 10 from that froth. He needs 7 from that frothing. That's got to be it, unless something crazy happens from this shredder.
Should
like
he
an Annoyotron. Nope.
Should he have enraged?
No, he has lethal. This is it. He should not attack in that. He just needs to enrage and go all face, and that's it. But the rope's ticking.
Said earlier, he loses a lot of patron games
No
to
way.
the rope.
You can't lose this game to the rope. He got all the attacks off. Surely. It's just 6 actions. He has plenty of time.
3, 5, 6. He did it.
Got him.
And the rat slowly realizing that all of his thinking was for naught. As Weasel takes a 2-1 lead in the series. We are potentially 1 game away.
It's all on Hunter.
For it being all over. The rat needs another win to stay alive.
Yep.
And Weasel, I believe, had the mid-range hunter.
I don't remember. I think it was hybridy. I think he had leper gnomes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Because we saw the one game with double leper gnome. It's been a long day. But, yeah.
It is.
Should have leper gnomes.
Whew. Well, going to go right into it. The rat going to throw out the mid-range paladin, bench the rogue for the time being. I do think that this has a little... Well, it's tough to say.
Yeah, it's the hybrid aggro hunter with organs.
Yeah.
This is a chalky special. Has a place in my heart. So it's it really depends on how Weasel has kind of teched out the deck. If he has Unleash, if he has maybe some different traps, how this is really going to pan out. But neither deck is at a huge advantage. I think I would favor the Hunter, but I am a Hunter player. So I've got that bias, yo.
I don't know. I don't know the stereotypes about hunter players, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
We go face.
Yeah, so this deck is actually really interesting from the rat. He runs double Owl, double Defender of Argus, plus he has a Cog Hammer in here and a Blessing of Kings. So, and actually, I think he has 2 Blessing of Kings.
It's almost like a hybrid aggro control. It's hybrid paladin.
Oh no, it's beginning.
It's happening.
I
Oh,
am
and he
like
top decks an owl.
I'm like 35% sure that
Okay, that's an oddly
uh
specific number.
the rat's second blessing of kings was golden.
35% sure.
Yeah.
So let me check this out.
I'm 100% sure that I've seen a blessing of kings once, a golden blessing of kings once today.
So you,
And I haven't seen that many paladins, so I'm guessing that it was the rats.
mm-hmm. Okay.
How are you checking?
No, I'm checking something.
Oh,
Just
okay.
trust me. Just trust me.
Well, he doesn't find a 3 drop, so he's just gonna build up the cog camera here. I mean, at the end of the day,
So
even
you're
without the
telling me
battle cry, it's just a 2-2-3.
you're telling me the rat is a level 49 paladin.
No, oh, you don't
That
have to put the golden
that would
blessing
be the
in.
implication of having one golden, one
You
non-golden.
don't have to put both golden cards in if you have to.
Yeah, but if you don't, you're triggering me.
Yeah, there actually is a strategic disadvantage to putting one golden and one regular card in because it gives your opponent an unnecessary informational advantage. Because if they see a golden one and they see a regular one, they'll know that you run 2 copies of it. So
Ooh, 1-1.
I guess it was earlier in the day that I saw it.
Oh no! Weasel has picked up the worst 2 cards. Now, Rat is still not in a great spot. He needs to pick up some healing this game, probably, but I mean, he's living on a prayer of like, okay, literally, please have nothing, Weasel, and Weasel has nothing.
Yeah,
He's gonna get off easy this turn with he's gonna still get to curb out sort of, but starting next turn, I mean, it's probably gonna be Minibot Argus and like
just a
it's gonna
bunch of
get
nasty
rough.
stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna trade in though. See if this jungle
Oh
hits. No,
no!
and it's an Ancient Watcher.
He
Are you
misses the juggle
kidding me?
and he misses the Paladin Shredder
This
drop.
guy's deck is crazy, man.
That is brutal.
Well, he did hit the jungle face, so
I mean, he is going to put him on a...
ooh.
Whoa.
That's heal for 4. That changes the clock significantly. Does 8, heals 4. Obviously, he's probably going to want to taunt up this turn, and then look to like bounce Argus next turn.
Yeah. That'd probably be the play. He is leaving the juggler up, which... it can be a little rough sometimes, but even with an unleash here, he's still got a decent-sized wall.
Yep.
Lothab is a body to fight back on the board, but...
Yeah, but it won't do too much. I guess he can kill off the... He can kill off the Belcher, but it still
Yep.
leaves a slime. But if he doesn't kill off the Belcher, he knows his Lothab might die, because you can bounce the Argus and then replay and then trade. And then go face with your 4/4. Start changing the clock. So he will trade into that. That means now that the slime can be bounced. And so you can bounce the slime, trade, and maybe play Dr. Boom. Of course, you are a little susceptible to Unleash the Hounds then. But you're really setting the clock. Next turn you can True Silver and Argus again. So, we know Weasel's hand's very unfortunate. Still has a chance if he can maybe draw another quick shot.
He really needs a highly impactful card.
Yep. So he is just going to go with the play I talked about. This is going to start up a big clock on Weasel. Of course, it was worth thinking about. And what's it going to be? A Leper Gnome presents 2 damage, but 2's not enough as it stands.
He's got a couple more turns.
Yeah, but it's going to take him... I don't think he does. I think he needs... I think he's going
got
to
one
need,
turn.
Yeah, he's going to need quick shot into something. Because the rat is about to double taunt up, triple taunt up if he wants to. No, just double. He's He's going to double taunt up. He's going to heal for 2. He's going to hit face for 16. And that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Weasel needs something ridiculous to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think he can do it. Even any combination of 2 cards won't do it. I mean, I guess he'll have a potential for 3 if he gets a quick shot, but there's not even 3. He can quick shot into kill command.
Quick shot into kill command does it.
Quick shot, kill command.
No, quick
Oh
shot.
no, the leopard gnome damage. Yeah, the leopard gnome damage.
Well,
oh,
that's it though.
All right.
For what seems like the 18th time today, we're going to game 5 for the last time. How fitting. So, here we go. Everybody turn up the silver scrapes. We'll be getting into it shortly. It's going to be the Rat with Rogue taking on Weasel's Aggro Hybrid Hunter. We're just going to get right into it. No waiting.
Never been so happy to see a leopard gnome in my entire life, my entire Hearthstone career. Yeah.
So no 3-0s today. We had a lot of close series.
You know, like you said earlier, it's good to see that the players are evenly matched. It means we have a really competitive field here, especially for the last couple of qualifiers. Really nice to see. Have a diverse, at least in NA, we had diverse decks. In EU, not really any diversity whatsoever, but still some good matches. And we're gonna bring it to an end here.
This is it
with this game.
The end of the line. Do you think
last game of the last match of the last qualifier?
Yep. You think the Rat's gonna backstab here or take 2 extra?
I think it's worth thinking about. I think he might just be trying to remember what traps there are.
It's just freezings from what we saw.
He should have it written down also.
So it's like your Edwin's getting frozen, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he can draw SI Agent, Deadly Poison.
This is a lot of pressure that he's going to take. I mean, look at Weasel's hand. That's a pretty nice hand.
Yep. I would say this matchup's pretty favored for the Hunter. He is running double freezing, which is really nice, and he's running Arcane Golems. Even got the Shredder and the Loatheb curve, which can be pretty damn good against rogues.
Yeah. And into Loatheb as well. Only thing he's missing is a Savannah Highmane. And instead of developing Glaivezuka here, he actually decides to just develop his creatures.
Yep. He knows that there's really not much way that those are going to be removed. Obviously, Leopard Gnome's going to die, but other than that, you don't really see any way that your creepers are going to die in the immediate future. Could get Fanonized off later. Or flurried.
Freezing Trap is going to be procced.
Yep. Just plays down the teacher. Didn't really get to get any way to avoid that Freezing Trap, and so did just kind of kill his Edwin.
Yeah.
Don't think that Edwin will be returning for a while.
No, this game's not going to go too late to where that's going to be impactful. The Rat's getting too close to that point of stabilization here.
You can hit face. Well, you can just redagger, deadly, eviscerate, and start making some 1/1s to contest the board if you wanted to. He could just deadly and shredder. I feel like Loatheb isn't that powerful. Doesn't really lock your opponent out of much. Healbotting here might be a little premature. He doesn't need the health until you're dead, essentially. So you're just making a weaker unit at this point. So I doubt we'll see the Healbot. So he's going to Deadly,
Shredder.
and this would that would telegraph Shredder if you Deadly before reweaponing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he'll put his face into that. Looks like he will.
A little bit
Will.
dangerous, but he is going to have a pretty strong board to fight back here.
Yep. And it's a 2-3, so the teacher can trade into that.
Look at that shredder placement. Oh.
Wow. Wow. Now, TJ,
Yes.
if you only had one minion and you're playing Hunter, would you place your shredder on the right or the left? Pop quiz.
Well, I think the only relevant thing would be like Animal Companion. Someone spawns on the right.
Unleash the hounds.
Spawns on the right.
Yep.
Pretty much everything spawns on the right, so you'd always put the power shredder to the right. Yeah.
Good catch.
Well, it's like just like shamans and flame tongues, but that gets a little more complicated. Because then if you have a fire elements on the board, sometimes you don't want that to be matched up with it because then it gets in BGH range. So it gets a little more convoluted. But
this is definitely awkward for the rat.
Look at that! He gets a high main.
Yeah, he's playing high main, and I don't know if it's going to see play this game because you are always afraid of sap when you play high main. And if you have a different play and you're on such an aggressive line, you'd ideally like to go with that. So for the rat here, he's facing down 7. All the trades are awkward. He has a bunch of healing in his hand. The main problem is finding turns to use those. So he's going to Loatheb, and this basically locks Weasel probably into Savannah High Maining, and there is no sap from the rat. Could be pretty bad stuff for him. He's going to probably just jam face here, starting the counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of pressure on the board. Kill command is going to be really good for closing this game out.
So Weasel could push 12 damage, put the rat to 4. I mean, that's what he's going to go for. He doesn't want to lose to sap, I think, is the main thing. Yeah. If you play Savannah High Main, you can actually just get blown out by sap. Whereas the Glaive Zuka, put your opponent to 4. You're representing lethal with just your weapon, let alone that kill command and animal companion in your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta think Glaive Zuka here powers the play here. And all face. He is facing down 12. So the rat would need to pull out 11, which involves prep. It involves at least 3 cards, probably more. Probably a 4-card combo, and that's a little too much to play around if you were Weasel. So it is going to be that all-face play. Really good for him that it hit the Haunted Creeper instead of Loatheb, because Loatheb's more easily tradable into. So Rat's definitely going to have to heal here. And he's going to have to probably trade Loathebs, which really sucks. I mean, maybe you want to just trade Shredders, but then you have to, like, eviscerate it.
I think it's just... Is there any way that he could clear enough of the board to live?
Yeah, there's 12, including a kill command, so it's... He could get a taunt or a heal off of this Shredder.
Yeah, and Healbot is a lot. I mean, that's 8, and he's got Earthring Farseer to pad next turn as well. So, I mean...
And there's an Animal Companion. Can't forget that.
That represents, I mean...
He's going to trade in the Shredder. He needs a taunt or a heal here.
Well, yeah, Vitality Totem.
He didn't get it. And so now, no way you trade. You can't trade. You just can't.
If you trade, you put 4 power on the board. So it's 3, 4, 5. That would be game. And that is it.
Kill command is going to finish it.
He's done it.
Weasel going to qualify, be the 8th person in the Premier Tournament this weekend.
Wow. It's all over. The rat takes out his headphones, looks a little bit devastated, throws out the well played. It was pretty well played. That was one of the most grueling series I've ever watched. I think grueling is the right word. Both those players, I mean, just judging by... Over an hour. Well over an hour.
And it wasn't like a control-y series, I suppose. I mean, Patron and Control Warrior were about the I mean, the most controlled decks there were, and it was just a lot of decision making for both players. Obviously, lots on the line.
Yeah. Yep. And wow. So that makes it so we know the final 8 players that will be competing in the feature tournament this weekend.
Hmm.
2 invited players, of course, are Chalky here and Strife Crow.
Hey,
The 2 EU winners, which is Roger and Privet. The
yep,
2 NA winners for the week, which is, of course,
Weasel,
Weasel and
Silent
Silent
Storm,
Storm.
yep,
And the 2 point winners, which is
Impact and
Dart,
Dart.
Impact, and Dart. So those are the 8 players. That is a awesome lineup for the feature this weekend. And there you go. Awesome. Chalky, Impact, Silent Storm, Privet in Group A. And Strife Crow, Dart, Roger, and Weasel. Feature tournament number 4. The final feature tournament is set. That will begin tomorrow. I believe it starts tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST. Yes,
Yep,
3
yep,
p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EDT.
yep. So be sure to watch out for that. That will determine. It'll only determine one player through the tournament that goes to PAX, but then after that, we will know the 4 players going through the points. This was a 16 tournament long circuit with points on the line. We've been
Yeah.
talking about it all, every single qualifier, but this is when it really gets down to it and they matter. Just to recap for you guys, the main front runners going into this weekend, of course, only the 8 players playing in the Premier Tournament can gain any more points. So we have Wafster and Nostum with 32 for NA,
I think they
and
are
I
both.
think I think they're locked.
Yeah, they're
So
locked. I believe they're locked.
Dart is the closest, and he cannot pass them with the 16 he can potentially gain. So they're locked. You're going to see Wafster and Nostum at PAX, and for Europe, Hoj has 31. Tom 60229 is in second with 23. Can he be passed?
He can, I think. Right, Roger. Who
Roger
has
can
12.
pass him. So Hoj is a lock, and Tom 60229 kind of has to bide his time. Hope Roger doesn't finish in second place, or
Yeah.
I believe there might be another place that could also do it, but we'll have to check that out later after the feature tournament.
Yeah. But once again, guys, head over to geico.onog.gg. You can enter in to win an official TSM PC. You can also enter in for a Geico quote, get some newsletters. So make sure you guys do that once the broadcast is finished. But I think that's going to do it for us. It was a long day, over 8 hours of casting for Chalky and I, but it was really fun. So Chalky, 8 hours and 20 minutes is the exact amount of time with
Yep.
with not many breaks. But that's the caster life. I really enjoyed it. Chalky, you have any final words that you'd like to give? Any shout outs before we close it out?
Thanks for sticking with me here, TJ. It was a
Got
long day, like
loopy.
you said. Thanks to the viewers for sticking with us as well. Hope you enjoyed more of kind of like a fun-filled cast. We had some fun with it in the second half, but hopefully you guys kind of got some strategic insight to these players as well, and you look forward to the Premier Tournament in PAX. And thanks again to One Nation of Gamers, Team Liquid, TSM, and GEICO for putting on this tournament circuit.
Indeed. And once again, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow for feature tournament number 4 at 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EDT at the same place. But from myself, from Chalky, from One Nation of Gamers, Team Liquid, TSM, and GEICO, and of course, the Ogre Brutes and Privet Stack, thank you for watching, and have a good night.